Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to each of us here at SSUC that gathers in this space. You're part of this circle this morning, and welcome to those of you who gather online. We work hard to make a safer space for all, so please know that you're welcome however you're gathering with us today, online or in person. Here in Edmonton, gathering together as SSUC Saskatoon, or as an MCC gathering in Toronto, or in various places in Canada, the US, or further afield. You're part of who we are together, and you're welcome. You belong. May this be for all of us a safer place to be ourselves, to ask questions, to explore the inner workings of our human experience. May this be a safer place to find wisdom for our living, to strengthen our intentions, to live more closely to our highest values. And may this place be a safer place to build community based on honest relationships and authentic spirituality. And that starts with being exactly who we are and who we are becoming. So welcome to this place and to this gathering just as you are. We wish to acknowledge this Treaty 6 land on which we gather here in Edmonton and in Saskatoon. Wherever you gather, we hope that you can honor the land in whatever way is right for you in your place. For thousands of years here, it has been the traditional land of Indigenous people from across Turtle Island. The Cree, Blackfoot, Nakota Sioux, Dene Ta, Métis, to name just a few. And today we're grateful to live, work, and gather on this, their ancestral land. So may our words symbolize our learning and actions to live into our commitments, to live into our desire for strong relationships, for listening, and for continued reconciliation. For us, in the Edmonton area, it has been a challenging week of violence in the city, where 2 police officers were killed, and we recognize the grief that envelops the city. We honor the public nature of these deaths and the pain and grief of those 2 young men's families. We also recognize, and helpful to recognize when we're in community, how events like this crack our hearts open. We naturally turn our gaze then from those specific examples of violence and death to, more broadly, the grief felt by all of those killed and who suffer in more obscurity. For those who grieve without headlines and in less public ways. Violence and death in all forms merit our heartache. And they call us to face how every one of our systems and structures falls short. It's times like these that we commit ourselves to facing the challenges we face in all of our human communities, including facing mental health challenges, the power and the privilege of our social systems, violence, and how we respond to it, and much, much, much more. And in this way, we're connected. Of course, in these 2 tragic deaths, but in many, many more than that. We gather in gratitude for a day in which to think and live deeply into the challenges and opportunities open and waiting for us and our deep and loving response. So in all of life, whether up or down, whether joyous or tragic, there is beauty, love, and strength that we share with each other. And so there's no better way to express that beauty, love, and strength than in song and with community that cares about each other and about the world. Let's sing our way into community.
Hello, hello. Hi, I'm Jasper, and I'm going to be the companion for today. And we are going to begin by lighting our candle, as we always do when we join together. The flame goes deep into our past, and we use it to center ourselves today. The same light, theoretically the same light that is on this candle, burns in our universe in giant balls of fusion. This is going to be entertaining. Okay. And it burns both ancient and near, and the same light shines in the past, present, and future lives of each of us. This light reminds us of our strength and significance, connecting us to those we loved, those with whom we share this life, and who will carry that light forward with us. May we be reminded here of our most worthy aspirations, inspired to bring our gifts of love, compassion, and justice to our humanity. And may we know once again that we are not isolated, but connected in body, in life, in spirit, and in the community that we share with each other.
All right. Thank you, Jasper. Time for all ages means that no matter where we sit, whether on the carpet, and you're invited to the carpet if you'd like, whether we come and join us in the front row, or whether you stay in your seats and enjoy what we're doing today, this is a time for all of us. And today's story is something that I hope that you know already. But just in case you need a reminder, this is the book for us. It is called Be You, and it's by Peter H. Reynolds. I've read his books before. You're getting to know Peter H. Reynolds. So, I don't have the physical book with me, but we're going to look up there at the screen and see all the pictures. You were born to be so many things. My wish for you, no matter where your journey leads, is for you to always be you. Now we're going to talk about all kinds of ways we're going to be ourselves. Be ready to take that next step toward being an amazing human being. Are you ready? Okay. Nods. Well, it's early in the morning. It's early. Be curious. Turn every stone, ask every why, and keep digging deeply. Discover your own answers. Do you see this child turning every stone? What's she finding there? See what she's finding? See the worm? Ooh, yeah. Sometimes you find life, and sometimes you find surprises. Be adventurous. Live a big life. When you're ready, step outside your comfort zone. Bravely explore new paths and see where they lead you. You might even find a pink and yellow polka-dotted rock to stand on. Be connected. Find kindred spirits. Well, I wonder what that means. Luckily, there's this next sentence. Be with those who make you feel like the real you. It's good to have friends, right? So you need to find the friends that make you feel like the real you. Be persistent. Ooh, look at that person go. Keep going, never stop. Keep going, never stop. Keep going, never stop. Keep going, never stop. Thank you, I was waiting for some help on that. There you are. You're going. You're not stopping. Here's be different. It's hard to be different, but this is a good page because it gives us permission to be silly, be quirky, be odd, be unique, be weird, be colorful, be okay with being different, be just the way you are. Got it? Okay. Be kind, be understanding. Help those around you to be themselves. Listen, then listen some more. Learn more about who they are. Be brave. Try new things. Take a deep breath and plunge forward into new experiences. It gets easier every time you try. Who likes diving off the big, tall diving board? Do you like it? No? It's a bit scary when you look down and see how far you've climbed up. Try new things. It's good. Be your own thinker. Think for yourself and set your own unique course. It isn't always easy, but you'll be heading in the direction of you. You have a direction. Did you know? Be okay being alone. Take time to be on your own. Hear your own thoughts, your inner voice. Listen to your heart. Be patient. Being more you takes time. Take a deep breath, relax, let your future unfold at its own pace. It will be worth the wait. When you're a kid, you just want to be grown up. When you're grown up, be okay reaching out for help. When you need a helping hand, a compassionate ear, an encouraging word, reach out. Ask for help when we need it. It's good to practice that. As you voyage out into the world, remember, no matter what, you will always be loved. You are ready. So, go ahead. Be you. Be very, very you. That's it. Peter Reynolds wrote a great book there with some great pictures, and the reason why he, I think, wrote a book about being you is because we all need reminding about that. The world needs you just as you are. The world needs you. You're unique, you're special, and the world needs all of us. So thanks for coming for a story to the carpet. Kid Spirit is raring to go. Daisy and Ariane are ready to lead you this morning if you would like to go with them. A time for a few invitations this morning and encourage the life and the work of this community, which is busy, let me tell you. The first thing that I want to mention is a thank you for all the ways that you support the life and work of this community. You may not realize it, but a little bit that goes in the box at the back of the room, a small e-transfer or donation on our website, or for those of you that donate automatically every month, it's all so meaningful and it all works to create the community we are creating and do the work that we're doing. And so a big thank you. We encourage, if you've never donated, to donate and help us do the work that we do. And to make a difference, not just here within these walls, but in the broader community and with our giving through our outreach funding, and that has an impact across Canada and around the globe. So thank you. We know that one of the strengths and commitments of this community is our Affirming commitment. And the Affirm team and I would like to invite you to a short 1-hour conversation on April the 2nd after the gathering. It's a conversation, but it's also a chance to dream a little bit into the future of our Affirming journey and to talk about what we will see ahead of us. Because Pi Day has just passed, maybe you had Pi on the 14th of March. And if you didn't, there's going to be Pi on April 2nd. So if you're not sure about what you have to contribute to the conversation, you know that you can contribute to eating pie. One other thing for me this morning is a bit of an adult education opportunity coming up in the week just before Easter. Easter is one of those challenging times for any that consider themselves progressive or expansive. We wonder what to do with this old and ancient story that we inherit in our tradition of Good Friday, of Easter. And it is a beautiful and wonderful conversation to have in terms of how do we look at this story. How do we bring meaning in an expansive way to our lives and to what we do in our lives and in our living? If you'd like to talk about that, learn a little bit more about that from our perspective on the expansive spiritual journey, then this might be an event for you Wednesday, April 5th at 7 in the evening. Consider that. Oh, I said just one more, but I lied. I forgot to look ahead. There's a labyrinth walk. We have a chance to walk our new indoor labyrinth on March the 19th. That is next Sunday evening. And so that is tonight. I knew that. Come back here at 7 and walk the labyrinth. That's enough from me. Bernie?
Okay, now it's got its light on. Good morning. I'm Bernie Hardeen, and I'm here to give you an opportunity. Okay, thank you. I'm Bernie Hardeen, and I'm here to give you an opportunity. I'd like to talk to you about the culture of hospitality. Now, I looked up in my thesaurus. I can never pronounce that word. Hospitable. And this is what came up. Attentive, kind, cordial, generous, liberal, open, receptive, sociable. Sounds like SSUC, don't you think? Right now, you walk in the front door on Sunday morning, there's someone to greet you. Then further inside, there's someone at the welcome table for newcomers, and there to answer any questions you may have about new name tags, receiving the morning messenger, etc. Then you come into the large hall, and there's another group of friendly people handing you cups of coffee, tea, or water. Sounds good, right? So why am I bringing this up? We would like to put together a more expansive roster of those who wish to be part of our hospitality work. We would like you to consider helping in one of two ways. There's Sunday morning help to assist a committee or an individual who would like to host a post-gathering event but doesn't have the person power to do all the required. This could be anything from cutting up a cake for distribution to helping with potluck lunches. The committee or individual will be able to go to this roster to find the help they need. And for social events, this roster would be available for those group or individual who have a great idea but don't know where to start, or merely need people to help make it happen. And we do have somebody who will help make these things happen and help with planning. Finally, I hope all of you will consider being part of this hospitality culture so we can all be of service to each other. Thank you.
I have a new word for us this morning. It's the word bannock. And it is the word in Gaelic or Gaelic, depending on where you are in Ireland. It is the word for blessing. We're going to hear a wonderful blessing from John O'Donoghue. John O'Donoghue was an Irish priest and poet, much loved by Nancy and Chris and all of us these years. Now, we'll come across a couple of other words. Well, the Bannock word, blessing, and there's a word partway through the blessing, corrick. And it's a small round boat made of wicker work covered with a watertight material, and it's paddled. It seems to be kind of a vulnerable boat, maybe canoe-like boat, I'm not sure. So here, let us open to these words by John O'Donoghue. He dedicated this for Josie, my mother. So it's both a very personal blessing and universal. On the day when the weight deadens on your shoulders and you stumble, may the clay dance to balance you. And when your eyes freeze behind the gray window and the ghost of loss gets into you, may the flock of colors, indigo, red, green, and azure blue, come to awaken in you a meadow of delight. When the canvas frays in the currach of thought and a stain of ocean blackens beneath you, may there come across the waters a path of yellow moonlight to bring you safely home. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so, may a slow wind work these words of love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. I wanted you to know that Katie Alexandra created the music, composed the music to interpret for us this morning this amazing Bannock blessing of John O'Donohue. And we are ever grateful to have this blessing in our lives. Thank you, Katie. I don't think we'll applaud. Let us just stay in the moment of that deep, deep blessing. Thank you, Katie.
We have two readings from our history today. Hindus believe that Krishna was the 8th avatar or incarnation of the god Vishnu, one of the Hindu deities in the Hindu Trinity. Krishna was born sometime between 900 and 1200 BCE, and his religious teachings can be found in the Bhagavad Gita, one of the sacred texts in Hinduism. As humans, more unites us than divides us. We explore the similarities between Jesus and Krishna with two readings. So from the Bhagavad Gita 6:30, "For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me." And from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 17, verse 21, "The spiritual realm, the kingdom of God, does not come with your careful observation, nor will people say, 'It is here,' or 'It is there.' That realm dwells within you." This is the wisdom that comes to us from the Hindu and Christian communities. May we find wisdom for our living.
A few interesting questions to start with. I don't expect you to answer them. How are you doing with this life journey you're on? Do we have some tweaks to make our lives and our living more of what we wish they could be? What work do we want to do to be truer to our intentions and truer to who we want to be? Where are we on that path from who we are now to who we want to be? Those aren't easily answered questions, obviously, but they're classic and appropriate ones to be asking ourselves, and for anyone to ask who's on a journey of exploration. And particularly appropriate to ask in the weeks that lead up to Easter, which throughout our tradition has been a time for self-reflection and assessing where we are, how we're doing, contemplate again where we want to get to. If we're all finished products, if we were all the people we wanted to be, maybe we would have no need to be here with each other. We'd be on some different plane somewhere, perhaps. Now, I'm a musician. I'm a piano player. It took me years and years to understand that practicing my instrument didn't mean, they're all laughing, they're anticipating in the music section. It took me years to understand that practicing my instrument did not mean just playing through my pieces and hoping that each time they'd get a little bit better. I, like most kids, tried to do that for years, thinking that that was practicing. That I just do it again and again in maybe the same way and hope that, well, that mistake maybe will just not happen next time. Practice, unfortunately, or fortunately, means tearing it apart, Sometimes, phrase by phrase, looking at the fine details of the music, the fingering, the articulation, the way I'm pressing the key, the way I'm releasing it, marking it down in the score, sometimes marking it down 5 times and in increasingly dark and red colors. And playing a measure, a line, a phrase over and over again, slowly, and to the aggravation of everyone listening, and even to myself, going slow and carefully is the only way to get faster and effortless. Hard lessons learned the hard way, unfortunately, but everyone with a skill or a craft understands that lesson, that there are very few shortcuts. So we wouldn't want to have a place to explore and practice our highest human values if it was just going through the motions, would we? What would be the point? Come here every week or do the same spiritual practices every week just to say we did them? Better off taking a walk in the forest or doing something else with our time. So this question of what we need to move through who we are to get to who we want to be is one of the first and most important questions of spirituality. It's not the only question, but it is the first one. Eric Tolle wrote this: spirituality is not about having a particular belief structure. It's not subscribing to a set of thoughts. It is discovering a dimension within yourself that is either deeper or higher than the continuous movement of your thinking. This, I think, is what we mean by our highest human values. Sure, we can talk about love in a general sense, or courage, or integrity, or pick any value word you want. We can subscribe to those things, but unless we're, like Tolle says, encountering them and discovering a dimension within us that's deeper and higher than the continuous movements of our thinking. Just because we think it, just because we say it, we want to go deeper than that, right? So that is spirituality. And so this first element of that spirituality is one of internal affairs. It's giving ourselves the space and time to discover those dimensions within ourselves, knowing and loving ourselves while identifying where there's still work to be done. Our Time for All Ages story today was deeply important to share before we talk about spirituality, because if we think about this whole concept of where we are versus where we want to get to as individuals, it's crucially, vitally important that we first affirm that we are the person that we are, and that we're deeply valuable. Dag Hammarskjöld, the longest journey is the journey inward. But it's also such a valuable and rewarding one, isn't it? And it's crucial to underline the fact that we have access to all that we need to be able to make this journey inward and find there the strength to take the trek to where we want to get to. We have to know that we are loved, valuable, amazing, unique people with the strength and the courage to get to where we want to get to in our lives. That's the first step. So those wisdom sources that Jasper read for us this morning, wonderful to hear writings from the Bhagavad Gita, the Hindu writings, and the text of our own tradition together. Just to see the different sparkles that shine off of each of them. They both underline this shared wisdom about our own agency. That if we're going to grow deeper and wider and more broadly, more expansively, then we recognize that we have the agency to do just that. The world we work to build as a place of peace, of inclusion, of love, is not going to happen because of some external force. It's within us already. We recognize it when we see it, and we recognize it when we feel it, in each other, in ourselves. That world, that dream, that realm, that kingdom, whatever language we put to it, it's not something to find over there or out there. It's something to recognize right here. It already exists, and it's within us to release. That's the wisdom of so many spiritual traditions, and particularly in this traditional season of Lent, this wisdom comes to us. If we're going to grow and deepen, it has to be from the inside out. None of us can make it happen. None can make it happen for us. Ever tried to change a fundamental aspect of someone close to you in your life? None can make us change. None can give us that wisdom of this dream, this amazing thing. If we only just get there, just do that, will you? Well, no, it doesn't work that way. We have lots of inspiration. Hopefully, we have the support of each other, but there is no other and no better teacher than our own inner knowing. That realm exists, and it's within us. This is an affirmation. Take this in whatever way you need it today, but hear it as an affirmation. You are naturally creative, resourceful, and whole. You are. With no tweaks or anything. No one needs to change a single thing. You are naturally creative, resourceful, and whole. You are the experts on your own journey. Only you know the real strengths that you bring to your life, and you contain not just the questions of your living, but the strength and the ability to live your way into the answers. But under the headline of two things can be true at the same time, we are this. And we are active and alive in the art and practice of transformation, which means that even though we are whole, we have a desire to be even truer versions of ourselves. We're whole, and we want to see ourselves in a different light, in a new light. Hear these helpful words by Stephanie Rutt in her book, Doorway to the Sacred. Radical self-acceptance enables us to sit at the feet of our own life and to be taught. Being taught transforms our fears and struggles into a kind of compost from which we may grow a more joyful life. And along the way, we become a little more free of self-imposed obstacles and become a little more ourselves. Just taking off on what Stephanie Rutt speaks there, to be radically self-accepting, to know that we are naturally creative, resourceful, and whole, allows us, gives us the space then to do the work of becoming a little more ourselves. Well, gosh, we've heard Irish wisdom. We heard some Hindu wisdom, some Christian wisdom. Why not just make an even 4? Here's some Zen wisdom from a story. The master was asked, "What is spirituality?" And so the master replied, "Spirituality is that which succeeds in bringing one to inner transformation." The student asked another question, "But if I apply the traditional methods handed down by the masters, is that not spirituality?" The master again replied, "It is not spirituality if it doesn't perform its function for you. A blanket is no longer a blanket if it doesn't keep you warm. So spirituality changes. People change. And needs change. So what once was spirituality may be no longer. And what once was not spirituality may be now." It is the questions of this season that help us to take that inner journey toward our more true selves. And so we ask, what will bring you to inner transformation? What questions, what affirmations about who you are and what strengths and gifts you bring? Who are you becoming, and what work on the long journey inward will help you as you go? So our message to each other today is really one of encouragement. If you want help asking those questions, if these questions are difficult to ponder, or if these questions are exciting to ponder, and you don't quite know how to begin or how to continue those steps on the inward journey, that's why we're here for each other. Reach out to me. Reach out to someone you trust in this community. We ask those questions with each other. And finally, especially if you heard destructive messages in your past or in previous understandings of faith and spirituality, then hear this now, if nothing else. The sacred realm, the spiritual life, the kinship dream of this world is not out there somewhere for you to conform to. It's not a standard against which you will be judged. It exists already, this dream for the world, and it is within you. We are naturally creative, resourceful, and whole, and in that way, we will let that dream bubble out of us and find all the strength we need to live it into reality. You have all you need, and we will support each other in the task. May it be so for us in so many ways.
creatures of land, the swimmers of sea, the birds of the air, the green plants and trees, they're all our siblings with equal share. In earth as our home and duty to care.
Thanks. We join together in common voice to strengthen our bond with one another and strengthen our intentions for the day. In the midst of the ordinary, we commit to finding and creating space and times when our hearts might hope and our minds might think on higher aspirations. Life strings moments together, and we might see them as drops of dew trickling into nothingness, or we might live them into pearls with which we adorn the world. Let's embrace the space that we create and find goodness in what happens when we open ourselves to awareness and creativity. May the potential within each of us be supported by whatever wisdom and strength we need, and the confidence that it dwells within and around us. As those who share a common journey, may it be so.
With those words of blessing, may we take the light within us, let it shine, and allow it to change us, to become who we have yet to be as we go together.